This is Oliver Anthony, and he is one of the most popular singer-songwriters right now. A few days ago, he was just a regular guy who sang songs for fun, and now seemingly out of nowhere, he's topping the charts at #1, beating out huge stars like Taylor Swift. But Oliver Anthony just did something that no other musician has done before. He just turned down a record deal worth $8 million. Most musicians would sell their souls for even a record deal that wouldn't even pay them a dime, but not Oliver Anthony. In a recent Facebook post, he says he doesn't even want to be a musician. I never wanted to be a full-time musician, much less sit on the top of the iTunes charts. People in the music industry give me a blank stare when I brush off an $8 million offer. I don't want 6 tour buses, 15 tractor trailers, and a jet. I don't want to play stadium shows. I don't want to be in the spotlight. So who exactly is Oliver Anthony? It seems like he came out of nowhere, and now he has the #1 song, even sat down with Joe Rogan for a 2-hour podcast. First, Oliver Anthony isn't even his real name. It's more of a stage name.
Since my stage, I guess it's not even my stage name, it's Oliver Anthony Music, and so it's supposed to represent music from, Oliver Anthony Music is my grandfather, and so he grew up in the 30s in the mountains and used to tell all these wild stories about how life was back then, but the music's just sort of a characterization of like that period in time and those people, and that's... So yeah,
So your real name is not Oliver?
Christopher Anthony Lunsford is my real legal name, and so that's what's on like if you look up the songwriting.
Why did you decide to sing as Oliver Anthony? Just in
well, like I said, I just had the YouTube channel listed as Oliver Anthony Music, just because like that's sort of the demeanor or the, like I said, the character I was like that older Virginia style music.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Oliver Anthony has been playing music on and off since he was a kid. He bonded with his family over his love of shared music tastes. He is a high school dropout and worked at a factory for very low pay. He ended up having a bad fall one day and fractured his skull. Afterwards, he decided to move back home to Virginia, where he bought a piece of property for $97,500, which he still owes about $60,000 on. Then he bought a camper off Craigslist for only $750, put a tarp on the roof, and that is where he's been living since 2019. For years, he was struggling financially and mentally. He said all he would do is get high and stoned after work to pass the time, and that is where his musical journey began.
I procrastinated with music a long time. I mean, I'm 31. I've been playing guitar and singing on and off since I was a kid. Like my grandma was in a band. I'd play at a bonfire party or I'd play at whatever, it's a friend's house, and everybody's like, man, you got to do something with this. You don't want to waste this talent you've got and whatever. And that would almost make me feel even shittier because I'm like, oh man, I suck. Like I'm such a piece of crap for not doing something with this. And so yeah, like when I was outside of work, it's like I'd drink, I'd get just absolutely stoned, and I would just sit around and try to think about anything but what it was that I really needed to be doing, which was like, and so it's kind of like funny, but that's ended up what kind of sparked me into like writing all these songs and doing all this stuff.
So one day he decided to take music more serious and do something beyond playing for friends and families at bonfires. In August of 2020, he uploaded his first video on YouTube. At first, he uploaded just him playing some acoustic covers, some original songs, and even some videos of his dogs. A few years later, he uploaded Ain't Got a Dollar, accompanied by his now signature backwoods performance, which started to gain some traction. But it wasn't until August 8th of 2023 where he would upload a video that would not only change his life, but change the entire nation. In a 10-minute video, Anthony teased Radio WV, a YouTube channel that highlights West Virginia musicians, would upload the debut of Richmond north of Richmond. The singer said it would represent the first song he'd recorded on a real microphone and a real camera, and not just done on a cell phone. In a testament to his low expectations at the time, he said he would be ecstatic if he got at least 300,000 plays on it. In fact, at first, he didn't even want to record his song at all. After a year of posting originals including Richmond's Gold, Cobwebs and Cocaine, Virginia, Feeling Pretty Good, and half a dozen others to little to modest notice, Anthony's modest expectations for Richmond would prove to be too humble by a mile. Within days of its upload, Richmond began gaining traction, shooting to #1 on iTunes charts and topping Apple's music global charts. In a weird twist of fate, Richmond knocked Jason Aldean's divisive Try That in a Small Town from the top of the iTunes country charts, after the latter was deemed as a vile racist song by Tennessee State Rep Justin Jones, and criticized for a video that was shot on site of a lynching.
Labeled a right-wing, left-wing fanatic, like right out of the gate.
both in like a week and a half. Then yeah, at least I know I'm doing something right.
In the meantime, the song Anthony described as touching on his time working in North Carolina factory, as well as on human trafficking and other atrocities, was drawing attention from conservative pundits, despite the singer proclaiming early on that he sits pretty dead center down the aisle on politics, and I always have. The singer, who actually refers to himself as just some idiot and his guitar, proved to be much more than that when Richmond North of Richmond, which officially released on August 11th, debuted at #1 on the Billboard's Hot 100 charts. The out-of-nowhere success made Anthony the first artist ever to launch atop the tally with no prior chart history in any form. The numbers were staggering. 17.5 million streams and 147,000 downloads in the first week with no radio promotion. The single also debuted at number 1 in the digital song sales charts and number 4 in streaming songs, going from 0 streams before August 10th to nearly 700,000 in just 2 days, with US downloads jumping from 0 to 20,000 over 4 days. He totaled 11.2 million on-demand audio streams from the week ending on August 15th, which Billboard estimated could have earned the singer $40,000. It also had downloads, netting Anthony around $81,000. Because Anthony's music is distributed through DistroKid, which charges a flat fee for distribution, he owns a song and pockets the whole amount. With his massive success and his no ties to any record labels, Billboard estimates he went from making about $200 a week to $365,000 in a week. Those figures include an estimated $218,000 in royalties from both recorded music and music publishing from tracks purchased and audio streams for the week ending August 17th. In addition, 18 other individual release tracks from Anthony's catalog generated another $139,000. His song was even brought up in a Republican debate, which he responded to 2 days later.
The number 1 song on the Billboard chart is called Richmond, North of Richmond. It is by a singer from Farmville, Virginia, named Oliver Anthony. His lyrics speak of alienation, of deep frustration with the state of government and of this country. Why is this song striking such a nerve in this country right now?
Anthony posted a 10-minute YouTube video in which he seemed angry by the shout-out, saying, "The one thing that has bothered me is seeing people wrap politics up into this. It's aggravating seeing people on the conservative news trying to identify with me like I'm one of them. It seems like certain people want to ride the attention of the song to make their own selves relevant, and that's aggravating as hell. The only thing I find aggravating is, well, it's funny seeing my song at the presidential debates because I wrote that song about those people. For them to sit there and listen to that, that cracks me up." He also went on Joe Rogan shortly after, where they talked for over 2 hours about his background and recent success. Even other celebrities have been chiming in about Oliver Anthony. Oliver Anthony's story is a very unique one. It'll be interesting to see what happens to him next. This might be a case of an unexpected one-hit wonder, just a flash in the pan, especially since he didn't even want this to begin with. But I guess we'll have to wait and see what's in store for him and his musical career.
You'll be here through these highs and